Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtakayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So coming back to our original discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, the passing away of Bhishma Dev in the presence of Lord Krishna, text number 40 onwards. So Bhishma Dev is worshipping Lord Krishna right now. ललित गति विलास वल्गुहासा प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पितोर माना कृतमनु कृतवत्य उन्मदान्धा प्रकृति मगन किल्यस्य गोपवद्वः. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Shri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajdham, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Ras dance. So the damsels or the gopis of Braj, they imitated the movements of the Lord after his. So what had happened during Ras Leela, Krishna, along with Srimati Radharani, he left the Ras Leela just to heighten the mood of all the gopis there, because of separation, the mood, the desire to be with Krishna, it increases manifold. So he increased that, and then later on he joined them again. So for some time he left with Srimati Radharani. So this is what Bhishma Dev is remembering. So just imagine the position of Bhishma Dev. It's not that he heard these stories from somebody about Krishna's Ras Leela. He realized it. He was watching these Leelas. That's the position of Bhishma Dev. But even after watching Krishna's Ras Leela in Brajzam, his mood, again, his intrinsic mood, his original mood was to be with Krishna in Vaikuntha mood, Vaikuntha atmosphere, and in that chivalrous rasa. He didn't change his rasa, he didn't change his relationship with Krishna. Although he appreciated Krishna's dance with the gopis and how the gopis were attracted to Krishna. Purport. By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Brajbhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. So they became one with the Lord doesn't mean they merged in the Lord. They became one because their desires were same. It was to please him. And they became one on the equal level, means they were kind of on an equal level because they're embracing him, smiling at him, joking around with him, looking at him in loving attitude. See, the relationship of the Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Bhishma, but the relation of the gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more purified loving service. So Arjun was fortunate enough to have the fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver, but the Lord did not award Arjun with equal strength. The gopis practically became one with the Lord by attaining of equal footing with the Lord. Means the gopis didn't merge inside the body of Krishna, but they become equal because they were treating him as equal. Arjun was still treating him as a Lord. Arjun is in Sakhyaras, but not the Sakhyaras of Brajmandal. This is the Sakhyaras of Vaikuntha, where he was still treating Krishna with some awe and reverence. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And therefore, Bhishma has not only glorified the acts of Arjuna, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who were endowed with unrivaled opportunities for rendering loving service to the Lord. So Bhishma is trying to glorify different devotees, and the aim is to please Krishna himself. But his glorifying different devotees, again, this is the purity of purpose, we can say. His glorifying of different devotees is not in any way an act of, like we call it, buttering. It was very sincere. It was coming from his heart. It wasn't just a lip service. It was the service that Bhishma they were doing by glorifying Arjuna and glorifying gopis was really coming from his heart. And that's why it pleases Krishna. Krishna can understand if we are doing lip service or we are really trying to glorify devotees and trying to please Krishna. And then he understands, then he acts accordingly. Because he says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tanstatha vibhajami. If we just do lip service without sincerity in our heart that I really want to glorify, or we just do from like buttering the lip service and just trying to please somebody, but in the heart we are saying, oh, I wish this bad thing happens to you, that bad thing happens to you. But outwardly, because in the material world we are living like this, that we say things which we really don't mean, then that doesn't pleases Krishna. It doesn't. And sooner or later, he will give us a reaction from that. Because he says, Ye yatham mam prapadyante. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So we surrender unto him with some cheating propensity. He is the biggest cheater. Who can be bigger cheater than Krishna? So we get it in the back. And whatever we get, it comes back manifold. Whatever we give, it comes back manifold. Because then Krishna adds his mercy in it also. So this is what we have to try to do. Be sincere in our dealings, especially with devotees. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, Kutinati is one of the biggest problems in our dealing. Kutinati means we adopt some diplomatic behavior. While Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Saralta hi Vaishnata. Vaishnava means he's a simple, straightforward person. That's it. No dupliciousness, no hypocrisy in his dealings. That's a Vaishnava. So obviously, we don't have to say bad things about other devotees. If we find them, that's not the right way of approaching. But at the same time, we have to see how sincere we are in the heart when we are trying to praise somebody or glorify somebody, or even if we try to find out faults with somebody. Of course, fault finding is bad, but defects can be pointed out, but with a sincere mood to help that devotee, a mood to help him make advancement. So everybody has defects. Who doesn't have defects? But the sincerity of purpose is very much required when we deal with others, especially the devotees. So this Bhishma here is glorifying. He glorified Arjuna before, and now he's glorifying gopis, not as a lip service, but it was sincerely coming from his heart, with no ill feelings, with no enviousness, because this enviousness is the one that keeps us bound in the material world. We cannot make progress if we have enviousness in our heart. In our heart, we could be envious, and outwardly we could be glorifying. Who are we trying to cheat? Do you think Krishna cannot see that? Krishna can see that clearly. In fact, devotees can also see that. Forget about Krishna. So that's all our duty should be very simple at heart, very simple and sincere. That's all. Because our ultimate aim is to make progress. That's it. Text 41. Munigan Ripubare Sankulayanta Sadasi Rajasuisham Arhanam Upaped Ikshaniyo Mam Drishtigocharesha Viratma. At the Rajsuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Shri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. So in that Rajsuya sacrifice that Maharaj Yudhishthira performed, Krishna was worshipped as the first person who gets a worship, respect. Even in the presence of so many learned people like Bhishma Dev was there, Vyasdev was there, but it was suggested by Nakul that Krishna should be given the first worship. And in that Rajasuya sacrifice is when Shishupal was killed because he started speaking against Krishna. So Bhishma Dev is remembering that incident. So in Rajasuya sacrifice, before that the Ashwamedh sacrifice was performed, and then so many other things happened, and then Rajasuya sacrifice. So after being invited, all the kings and great learned sages of the world assembled in the capital of Maharaj Yudhishthira. The learned society, including the great philosophers, religion and physicians, scientists, all great sages was invited. That is to say, the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas were the topmost leading men in the society, and they were all invited to participate in the assembly. So in that great assembly, Lord Shri Krishna was a Cynosha means the center of attraction of neighboring eyes. Everyone wanted to see Lord Krishna, and everyone wanted to pay his humble respects to the Lord. Bhishma Dev remembered all this and was glad that his worshipful Lord was present before him in his actual formal presence. So to meditate on the Supreme Lord is to meditate on the activities, form, pastimes, name and fame of the Lord. So it's easier for, like Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, that to meditate upon the impersonal feature of the Supreme is very difficult. But to meditate on the personal feature, like so many things, activities, form, pastimes, name, fame, that we can meditate upon. The devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's factual form and pastimes, and therefore the Lord is easily approachable by the devotees. So our meditation, especially when we are chanting, that is our personal time with Krishna. When we are chanting, so like I posted this beautiful passage today in the group. So our meditation is on the holy name of Krishna, because name is non-different from it. But at the same time, when we are chanting, it should, yes, many times it becomes mechanical without our really emotions or mood or sentiments attached. But if we can add the mood or emotion, like we can really pray to Krishna. In a begging mood, we can chant. In a loving mood, we can chant. The mood has to be there. The sentiments have to be there. Just like when babies are little, whatever they speak, to outsiders, they cannot make ABC out of it. But mother, she knows what the baby is saying. Of course, the language language or the words, they don't make sense at all. Mothers know. And mothers, whatever they speak, baby will it out what mom is saying. Of course, babies don't understand the language, but they understand this language of love. But when the babies grow up, then they don't, most of the time, they don't have this expression of relationships with mother or with anybody. I mean, of course, then they have their maybe their friends or girlfriends or boyfriends they deal with, but not with the mother anymore. So same thing happens with us actually also. When we start in the process of bhakti, that time we really develop a relationship with Krishna. In that time, whatever thing is bothering us, we go and tell him and ask, really pray to Krishna, please remove this. But when we grow up, when we make some advancement in bhakti, instead of growing and getting more and more personal relationship with Krishna, we tend to stay a little bit away from that. We say, okay, I have done my 16 rounds of chanting and that's it, I'm done. So for the day, I'm done. But this is not what it is. When we grow up, we should have more deeper relationship with Krishna. We should be able to talk to him. And we should talk to him. This chanting 16 rounds, this is a personal timing with Krishna. We should utilize every moment of this time in talking to Krishna and really bringing out our heart, our emotions, our feelings for him. And even not just 1.5 hours, rest of the day also we can talk to him. We can tell him, Krishna, this is what is bothering me, or this is what I did good today. Please let me understand it better. Or please let me do it again. More things. Whatever way. We can make our own prayers. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a standard prayer given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Srila Prabhupada, which is wonderful. But after that, before that, we can make our own prayers. Who's stopping? This is our relationship with Krishna. This is a personal relationship with Krishna. And he's ready to reciprocate the way we want. But we have to talk to him. We have to let him know how we feel. So this is what pleases Krishna. Bhishmadev, look at Bhishmadev. Whatever prayers he is saying to Krishna, I don't think these prayers he copied from somewhere. It is what is coming in his heart and he is talking to Krishna. That's what bhakti is. It is personal relationship. We don't have to show it to anybody. We don't have to get validated by anybody because it's our relationship with Krishna. And who knows us better than we do? Nobody else. So this is what we have to develop. And look at Bhishmadev. He understood the heart of Krishna and even shot arrows at Krishna. Of course, nobody's expecting that from us, that we're going to start shooting arrows at Krishna or start throwing stones at Krishna. But look at the mood of Bhishmadev. So we have to come to that level of bhakti. Text 42. Tam imam aham jam sharir bhajam hridi dhishtitam atma kalpitanam pratidrasham ev nek dharkam ekam samadhi gato asmi vidhut bhed moha. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord Shri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. So Bhishmadev is saying, no, I don't have to look for him in everybody's heart, just like yogis do when they meditate upon Paramatma, feature of Krishna. But they is saying, now he's present before me, I can fully concentrate upon him. Lord Shri Krishna is the one absolute supreme personality of Godhead, but he has expanded himself into his multi-plenary portions and multi-differentiated portions by his inconceivable energy. The conception of duality is due to ignorance of his inconceivable energy. Conception of duality. Duality means Krishna and rest, everybody is separate. Well, they are separate and same at the same time. Our concept of oneness is also ignorance. So he has both. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that only the foolish take him to near human being. Such foolish men are not aware of his inconceivable energies. By his inconceivable energy, he is present in everyone's heart, as the sun is present before everyone all over the world. Just like in the middle of the day, if you ask anybody in India, where is sun? He will say it's above my head. But 1.2 billion people, they say the sun is above my head. Yes, sun is above everybody's head. But sun doesn't belong to person only. So similarly, Krishna is present in everyone's heart, but Krishna is also person. Yeah. He is present before Vishnudev also and he is present for his devotees at the same time, present in everybody's heart. So that is inconceivable. The Paramatma feature of the Lord is an expansion of his plenary portions. He expands himself as Paramatma in everyone's heart by his inconceivable energy. This misconception of duality is completely removed from the mind of Vishnudev, and he is now satisfied that it is Lord Shri Krishna only who is all in everything. Since Vishnudev is one of 12 Mahajans, great authority, your duties must follow in his footsteps. That is the way of devotional life. The worshipable object of Bhishmadev is Lord Shri Krishna as Partha Sarathi in Vrindavan as a most attractive Shyamasundar. So Partha Sarathi is Sarathi for Bhishmadev and Krishna is Shyamsundar, peace. So are both the Krishnas same or different? Sometimes less intelligent scholars make a mistake and think that the Krishna of Vrindavan and that of Battle of Kurukshetra are different personalities. Actually, they are same and different at the same time. They're same as a person, but different in the mood of the dealing with the devotees. So that way they could be different. But for Bhishmadev, this misconception, even the impersonalist object of destination is Krishna as an impersonal Jyoti, and the yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahmjyoti and localized Paramatma, but Brahmjyoti and Paramatma are not full representations of Krishna. So he is both, but he is separate from them also. Great Mahatmas like Bhishmadev realize all these different features of Lord Shri Krishna, and therefore they worship Lord Krishna with one pointed attention, knowing him as the origin of all features. So that is Krishna. He is inconceivable. But still, he has come in the form of deity, in the form of his name, in the form of his instructions with the personal relationship with him. So I'll stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the previous text, it was written that in the Rajasya Yajna that was performed by Maharaj Yudhishthir, so Bhishmadev saw it. I'm a little confused because in the purport it's written after the Mahabharat war, the sacrifice was held. And if that is the case, then Bhishmadev was lying in the bed of arrow. So how
I
do we
know,
look
I
at?
know, I read that, and of course, in Mahabharata it is mentioned after it was held, but one was held before also. So Bhishma Dev is remembering the one that was held before, when
Okay.
Shishupal was killed.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So any other question or comment?
So the amazing devotion, Vishnu Dev at such pains is still focusing on Lord Sri Krishna. How we wish we get a tiny fraction of that.
I know, we just with little pain we get so disturbed, we forget even name of Krishna.
Yes.
So this is what we have to learn from Vishnu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So for that we have to develop this personal relationship with Krishna. That is very important.
Absolutely. Prabhuji.
Because in the time of distress, who do we remember? The one we really love, one we are really close to, that the person who will come first in our mind when there is any distress. So that person has to be Krishna. Oh, Krishna's name, not different. Anything happens, first thing should happen is the name should come, or we think of Krishna, or we call out Krishna's name. So we have to practice. That is what is required.
True, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, like in distress, most of the people remember Krishna. But the main thing is that if we really love Krishna, we should at least remember him when we are happy also. Why only for help? Why only for small materialistic things? We should remember him as, even if he don't give us, we should remember him in that way, right? Means
Oh yeah.
distress
Oh,
is okay.
definitely. That is love.
Distress is okay, but at least when we are happy also we should first go to Krishna only, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's why it is recommended. No? Whenever we leave the house, we should talk to him. Oh, my Lord, I'm going away. And whenever we enter, the first thing we should talk to him. Whenever we get up, we should talk to him. Whenever we sleep, last thing we should talk to him. We have to make it a habit, and slowly, slowly, it will become our nature.
True, Prabhuji. Thank you.
We have to work on it. Okay, I guess we can stop here. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thinking of remembering Krishna and having relationship with him. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.